Hi, Rebecca here. Going to lead you through a little morning flow just to wake up our bodies. So let's begin in a comfortable seat, closing your eyes, grounding through your hips, lengthening through the top of your head. So just tuning into your spine, the space between the head and the hips. Noticing where your head is. Maybe sliding the ears and the chin back so that the head is comfortably stacked over the shoulders. Then tuning into your shoulders, letting them drop away from your ears. And then bringing that awareness down the back side of the body, all the way to your hips. Stacking our shoulders on our hips. And then with the lips gently sealed, just drawing the breath in and out through your nostrils, taking a fuller, deeper breath. And one of the things I usually focus on in my yoga practice is simply just coming home to myself, tending to my body, to my mind. So let the breath bring you home. This home of refuge, of relaxation, of calm, of peace. And trying to move out of the space of the head, of the thinking mind, and into your feeling, sensing body. The greatest gift you can give yourself today, just to be present. Let's start to incorporate the arms with the breath. So relaxing the arms down along your sides, and then as you inhale, arms rise. You can keep your arms, your eyes closed for this, so you can open them. Just moving your arms. Inhale to rise, and exhale to fall. Let's do that a couple more times. Starting to spread our wings. Starting to move this energy from our hearts out through our fingertips. Feeling into the space within, the space around. And if you haven't already, gently fluttering your eyes open. Let's come to a child's pose. Hips to heels. Maybe you reach your arms forward, which gives you a little shoulder elevation. Maybe you reach your hands back towards your heels for a little protraction, letting the shoulder blades glide away from your spine. Maybe you're resting your arms down on the mat, or maybe you float them, pressing up into fingertips. Breathing deeply into the backside of your body. A couple more deep breaths, and we'll start to move. So we're going to bring the hips forward and through, just taking a little modified upward facing dog. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then gazing over your shoulders to the right and to the left. And press your hips back. Inhale to rise, wave it forward. Hips and heart forward, shoulders draw back, soften through your throat. Lift your gaze. Press into the tops of your toes. And then press it back. A couple more times like this. So if you want to add the turning of the head or the lift of the gaze, let it be what's right for you. Do that one more time. And then coming to tabletop. So where we have our knees under our hips, our wrists underneath our shoulders. Let's start to warm up the wrists and the hands by spreading the fingers wide. So your thumbs are reaching toward the center of your mat. Your pinky fingers are stretching toward the long edge of your mat. And then just begin to shift the shoulders forward, getting that stretch through the wrist, and then send the shoulders back. And then shift them forward and send them back. One more times. And then shoulders over wrists. We're going to do a little shoulder pumping. So I want you to keep your head neutral, your hips neutral, and I just want you to drop your sternum down toward the floor, squeeze your scapula onto your back. But we're not tucking our chin, we're not gazing forward, we're just gazing right down toward the mat. And then I want you to press the floor away and let the shoulder blades protract. And then keep your arms nice and long, elbows locked as you drop your sternum and as you lift. So we are playing with retraction of the shoulders as we drop the sternum, protraction as we press away. Let's do that for 3, 2, and 1. Find a cow pose, pressing into the tops of your feet, letting your navel drop, your throat soften. Shoulder blades are retracting. And then we're going to come into cat pose, tuck your toes. So we're going to get a little stretch through the bottom of the feet. We're going to tuck our tailbones, tuck our chin. And then press into the tops of the toes, untuck, shoulder blades squeeze, navel drops. And then round and tuck the toes. And let's do that a few more times. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat. The last one. We're going to add on here though, as you tuck your toes and you draw your chin towards your chest, I want you to, if you'd like the challenge, lift your knees and shins and let them hover. Again, shoulder blades protract, so puff out that space between the shoulder blades. And breathe here. Couple of deep breaths. Bring the knees down, start to walk the hands back towards your knees, coming into toes pose, getting a nice stretch through the bottom of the feet. If you need to, you could place a block or a blanket between the hips and the heels. If this is too intense, you simply just need to bring the weight forward, not stacking hips on the shoulders on top of hips. So find that just right position for you. And then let's just breathe here. Might even close the eyes. Now notice where the heels are. We want our heels directly up toward the ceiling. We don't want the heels dropping out to the sides or caving in toward the center, if you can. Now this is all going to depend on intensity in the toes. For a lot of us, bringing that heel toward the center and directed up toward the ceiling will bring more weight into the big toes, which may or may not be welcome at the moment. Just feel into it, breathe into it, make any adjustments. Relax your shoulders, relax the muscles in your face, your jaw. Filling out your lungs on the front side, the back side, the right side, the left side. And again, just thinking about coming home to yourself. Yoga is this opportunity where we connect. And we're not connecting so much with that mental headspace, we're connecting with our wholeness, the whole self, not just parts of self. Because the mind will want to separate pieces and parts. Mind's really good at clenching, clinging, overly focusing. And we want to just let that awareness spread from the top of our heads to the tips of our toes and our fingers. Take another couple of deep breaths here. And gently bring it forward, tap out the tops of your feet. And then let's tuck our toes, lift our hips, downward facing dog, walk, pedal, rock, sway, whatever feels good. Stretching and opening into the back sides of our legs, grounding through feet and palms, and finding that length once again from our heads to our hips, thinking about those sits bones, those bony points of the pelvis that are now reaching up toward the sky. And then begin to slowly travel forward to the top of your mat. Relax head, neck, and shoulders. You could shake your head yes or no. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. And then take a little cactus. Arms squeezing scapula onto your back, your shoulder blades. Lifting your chest, your heart skyward. Maybe letting your head drop back. And then let's take our forearms together. Draw your elbows towards your navel, little cat, standing cat pose. And then let's open it back out. And then standing cat, elbows toward navel. Lift it open. One more time like this. And the next time you open it up, so we're going to take a side bend. So coming to center, reaching the arms up toward the sky. You're going to take left foot behind you. You're going to grab a hold of left wrist. We're going to take a little side bend. And if you feel unsteady with taking the leg back behind you, you can always just keep the feet parallel and side bend. And then let's switch it. Right foot comes behind, left hand grabs a hold of your wrist and side bend. And then let's move between the two, just from the right to the left. One more time on each side. And let's come back to our mountain. Cactus your arms. And then start to straighten the arms, taking them back behind you. Interlace them. Let the shoulders roll down and back. And softening at the knees. Exhale, fold forward. Release the hands down underneath your face. You might press into palms or fingertips. If the hands don't reach comfortably, use a block here. We're going to twist open to the right. So we're going to bring left hand under the face, left knee bends, and then right arm reaches up toward the sky. And then bring right hand down, and then left arm reaches up. Just side to side. One more on the right. One more on the left. And then we're going to plant our hands and step it back. Plank pose. Shoulders out over wrists. Once again, those fingers are spread wide. Heels pressing away from the top of the head. And imagine a candle flame underneath your navel, and you don't want to get burned, so we want that lifted. And then shifting the weight forward. Maybe you bring your knees down here, and can you lower, bringing those hips down last. Hands underneath the shoulders, pressing into the tops of your feet. Inhale, find a low or a high cobra, and then exhale, release. Couple more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. The last one here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, and then press up through tabletop. Let's take inhale to cow pose and exhale to cat. Let's begin to warm up our shoulders a little bit more. So we're gonna play with retraction, but from the right to the left. So we're gonna bend that right elbow. We're gonna lift that elbow tip up toward the sky, hugging it in along the ribs. Draw that right shoulder blade onto your back and then bring right hand down. And then take left hand, elbow bends, lift that elbow up, arm kind of hugs in along the rib cage, and then bring it down. So from the right to the left. One more on each side. And then reach right toes back behind you, pressing the top of your foot down so the foot is pointed. Reach left arm forward and bring that pinky finger down to touch. And then we're going to exhale to lift, inhale to lower, exhale and inhale. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold it here. Option to bend that right knee, grab a hold of right foot or ankle, find a little tiger pose. And release. Left toes reach back, pointing the foot, pressing into the fingernail side of the foot. And then we're going to reach that right arm forward, pinky finger touches down. And then we're going to exhale to lift, inhale to lower, exhale to lift, inhale to lower. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Option to bend that left knee, grab a hold of the foot or ankle for tiger pose. Opening across the hips, the collarbones, kicking the foot into the hand. Stabilizing through that left shoulder blade. Don't let it get lazy. And then release. Press back, child's pose. Couple of deep breaths. Coming through tabletop, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Gazing to the top of your mat, lift your heels, travel forward. However you want to get there. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise to standing. Goal post cactus arms. Straighten and hands come back for chest expansion and fold forward. Bring the hands down, step back, plank pose. Inhale and exhale. Shift the weight forward, gaze forward, slow lower. See if you can bring those hips down last. And then up dog or cobra. And exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. It's using that breath to come home to yourself, to connect, to feel, to sense, to be. Heels lift, gaze forward, travel forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step left foot back. We're going to lunge twist to the right. So left hand plants, right arm reaches up toward the sky. And try to press down through that right hip and lift through left. Broaden across your collarbones. Think about trying to stack those shoulders and hug them onto your back. And then unwind, step it back, down dog. Right leg lifts. And then right knee to nose, right foot steps forward. Bring your back knee down, Anjaneyasana. And then hands plant, pyramid pose, straightening through both legs. Feet about hips width distance apart, folding out over right leg. And then step left foot to me right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise, sustain. Other side, exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, this time right foot steps back, right palm grounds, left arm reaches, twist it open. And then think about dropping that left hip down and lifting right hip. Squeeze your shoulder blades, your scapula onto your back. And then that left hand comes down, step it back, down dog. Left leg lifts. Left knee to nose, left foot to left thumb tip. Anjaneyasana, right knee comes down. Arms rise. Hips forward and down. And then hands come down, find a pyramid pose. So we're squaring our hips forward, our shoulders forward, softening out over left leg. You might have a long stance, it might be a short stance. And then step right foot forward, inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. And then inhale, rise to standing. And we'll add on. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step left foot back. Twist it open to the right. Unwind through center. Find a plank pose. And then bring the knees down to tap and lift. Tap and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the knees down, tabletop, right leg lifts, gaze forward, shift the weight forward, come down slowly, and then press it back up. Come down slow, halfway, and then press it back up. One more time. And step back, down dog. Right leg lifts. Right knee to nose, right foot to right thumb tip, Anjaneyasana. Hands come down, pyramid pose. You might step that back foot in a little bit closer. Those left toes are angled toward the top left-hand corner of your mat. Right toes are facing forward. And if you would like to twist this out, left hand inside or outside of right foot to the floor or a block. And then we'll bring right thumb to right hip crease. And think about drawing that right hip crease back, keeping that right hip drawing down toward the floor. And then if it feels stable and secure here, start to twist it open to the right. Twisted or revolved triangle. Back to center, step it forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Other side, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, twist it open. Lifting through that right hip, pressing down through left. And then bring left hand down, step back, plank. Option here to tap the knees down and lift. Tap and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down, tabletop, left leg lifts, and then we shift the weight forward. We're going to come down halfway, chaturanga, and then press it back up. Shift forward, halfway, come down, and then press it back up. Last one. Plank pose, back to downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, left knee to nose, left foot steps forward, right knee comes down, Anjaneyasana. And hands come down, pyramid pose. So we should start feeling the muscles starting to wake up, offering some more fluidity and just a little muscle memory for these postures. Now, adding on the twist here if you'd like. So right hand comes to the inside or the outside of left foot. And then we're going to bring left hand to left thumb crease, and we're going to draw that left hip back and down. And if that feels stable and grounded, adding on the arm, reaching it up toward the sky. So we focus on stacking shoulders and then lengthening the top of the head forward away from the tailbone. Unwind through center, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise to standing. All right, let's play with a little toe squat. So we're going to reach our arms forward. We're going to start to come onto our toes, lifting our heels, and then bringing our hips down toward our heels. And then hands come down to the floor. Keep the heels lifted. Fold, and so heels lifted in our fold, and then bring the heels back down. So lift the heels, bend the knees, find your little tuck here, and heels come down, fold. We're going to do that a few more times. So toe squat, heels lift, and then forward fold, heels come down. Squat, and then lift. Last one, squat. And then we're going to bring the hips down. You can use your hands here if you need to, hugging right knee in toward your chest. Let's take a twist to the right. So right hand comes back behind, left arm reaches up. So get really long to that left hand side, and then twist it open to the right. And then unwind through center, slow lower, keep that right knee bent. We're going to do a little core work here. Take your hands behind your head. And then as you lift your shoulders and your head, draw your forehead towards your knee, and that right leg lifts. And then tap it down. And lift and tap it down. Continue. Next time you lift it up, bring it here, and then we're going to take left elbow toward right knee, and then bring it down, and left elbow to right knee, and bring it down. 6 more. Hold it here, elbow to knee. Now reaching that left hand to the outside of right thigh. Tiny pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full body stretch, reaching arms overhead. And then start to take your hands up toward the ceiling, reaching towards your toes, chin towards your chest, rolling up. We're going to draw left knee in, twisting it out. Left hand comes behind the back, right arm reaches up. So first focus on the length here on the right hand side as fingertips reach away from the hip, and then twist it open to the right. You could hug the knee in towards your chest. You can press the arm into the outside of the thigh. But think about lifting up and out of your low back. And gently unwind, slow lower onto your back, keeping that left knee bent. Hands come behind the head. And here we go, other side. So the knee is going, the foot's gonna lift, and we're gonna draw our forehead toward our knees, and then tap foot and head down. And then lift and tap. 6 more. We're going to take this into our twist. So now left elbow goes toward right knee, and then bring it down. Right elbow to left knee and bring it down. 6 more. Hold it here, elbow to knee. Start to reach that right hand to the outside of left thigh and pulse it. And release. Full body stretch. Hug your knees in toward your chest. Maybe you rock it side to side or circle the knees up toward the ceiling. Uttanasana Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let the knees drop out wide. Notice where the hands want to land. They might be grounding on your torso somewhere or pressing into your inner thighs just to add a little weight. You might tee them out. You might reach them overhead. And once again, coming back to your breath, lips gently sealed, drawing the breath in and out through your nose. And finding refuge here in this home of your body, of your breath. And taking refuge in your body and the wholeness, the fullness that is you, rather than clenching through the mind, we want to soften the thoughts, deepen the breath. Keep reinforcing and sending the signal to our nervous system to come home, to rest and digest. Connect with the inner space. And then hands to the outsides of the knees. Bring the legs back together. Heel toe your feet to the edges of your mat. Let your knees drop together. You might cactus or tee out the arms here, letting the shoulder blades be supported and heavy. You could gently rock your head side to side. And then maybe add the knees, taking the knees to one side, the gaze to the opposite. Side to side. One more time, hugging your knees in towards your chest. If you want to take a happy baby or any other movements here, listening to those inclinations, the intuition of your body. And then Shavasana, option to take the feet a little bit wider, stretching the arms overhead, coming into a star shape. Remembering our connection to the stars, that we literally are made up of the elements of the stars. We are stardust. And there may be days when we're feeling that brilliance or not feeling brilliant at all. Just allowing ourselves to become aware. Showing up wherever we're at. Stay here for as long as you'd like. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Ariam Tatsat.